Hello everyone and welcome to another Age of Mythology Summer Tournament 1v1 recorded gamecast, and tonight I bring to you guys the first of the two semifinals of this matchup, or this tournament. And tonight's players are Shelty versus Skady. Now, unfortunately, I was going to do Skady versus Shadowfax quarterfinals, but all the recorded games of those were lost. So, gone. So I have to just kind of skip that, which is too bad, and move right on to the semifinals. But that's okay. We still got some Age of Mythology to watch, and it should be a great matchup. Shelty versus Skady, to me, they seem pretty even. Real quick, we'll take a quick look at our brackets. And then we'll get into our first game. So we've got Shelty, who has actually kind of narrowly gone through the last two rounds. He was 3-2 over Luyendula, and then 3-2 over Domitas, and now he's up against Skady. Now, Skady, we actually, I haven't streamed any of his matches yet this tournament, and he went 3-0, 3-0, and then versus Shadowfax was 3-2, with those games being lost. So I can't, well, not really lost, nobody ever posted them, and then with the way Age Mythology works, every time you play a game it replaces an old recorded game. Well, they're gone. So I wanted to do this match, but I can't, so we will move right to Shelty versus Skady semifinals. And the other semifinals, which were played, I will probably end up doing those tomorrow night, which is Joe versus Harold. Got a couple people in from YouTube, Mr. Duck Nugget and Welton. Hello, hello. And we're going to get into the semifinals, which is a best of 7. So before it was always best of 5 or best of 7. Now I did a little bit of homework going into this and found out that the first recorded game, the one that was posted, is kind of going along with the whole theme of general incompetence. Nobody posted the right recorded game for the first game. So we are going to watch the stream of the game, and then the next games remaining were all the right games. So we'll be able to watch the recorded games of all the others. But the first one we'll watch the stream. Joe streamed, and he's a pretty good streamer, so we should be able to, at least see what's going on. So as usual, I'll mute him, and I'll just commentate on what I can see. So this will be game 1. We will just jump right into it. I'm going to do just a little bit of background music from the game, just so it's not just me talking. It's nice to have a little bit of background music. If it's not good compared to the audio, let me know. Or as far as the speaking, let me know if it's too loud or whatever. If it's too quiet, no big deal. But we're going to go into game 1, which is Vinlandsaga. And I sure wish I knew who picked this, because this would let me know who picked the rest of the game, the maps. I'm not sure, but we got Vinlandsaga, we got Shelty, and Skady. Wow, Joe likes to rotate the map here. I hope he doesn't do that. It really makes me dizzy. But Shelty's on the bottom, and I saw that he was Oranos. And Skady is on the top red color, and he was Gaia. Now, I feel like... I guess I can't scroll. I'm trying to scroll and I can't. I feel like in this map, Gaia has the advantage because of the free trees that he gets. So Gaia also, I'm looking at his starting location there. He's got a ton of good fish. Like, he's got 2 packs right there, and then he's got another 2 packs right next to his town center. Like, he wouldn't ever even have to defend those 2 packs of fish next to his town center and be able to continue to fish from them. Now, Vinlandsaga, if you've been watching my other recorded games cast for this tournament, you'd be pretty familiar with how it works. He is starting this tiny little island with almost no resources, and then you gotta go to the main island there in the middle, which has all the town centers, all the gold, all the food. First Twitcher in the chat tonight. So this is the first of our, hopefully it will be many games in this series. And we've got Vinlandsaga. I love Vinlandsaga. It's such a great map. It's maybe not the most balanced, because sometimes the fish can spawn really crazy, and then you've got also these random like Gaia Ulfsarks in the mainland that can attack your units. That's kind of cool as well. Now, the reason I think Gaia is better than Oranos is because of the forest that you can cast on your initial island, which allows the Gaia player to keep on or gathering resources on the mainland for longer than the Oranos, who's going to have to jump to the mainland to get more trees at some point. And during that time period, you're kind of out. You're gathering there for a while. Now, granted, the guy will eventually have to move, but the longer you can stay on your mainland without moving, the better. You get those resources in faster and get in earlier. Earlier advantage, hopefully. Hey, what's up, Jod and Ho? But I'll be interested to see. Shelty's been playing on this map. I think this is his third or fourth time playing on this map in this tournament, so he knows how to play it. And we'll see how Skady will do. Skady might not be quite as familiar with him as Shelty. Skady's a really good player as well. No, this isn't a new map though. This came with the original. I think this is might have been new with the Titans, maybe. But it came with the game. Just nobody usually plays it because of how weird it is. But getting to Skady, probably most people are familiar with Shelty, who's one of the best players currently, and plays some mean Loki, and can also play pretty much all of their gods pretty good as well. Skady also is really good. He typically plays Atlantean or Egyptian, and he'll play them all pretty well. You don't hear from him as much. He's not quite as prominently out there, but he's really good. And overall is about the same as Shelty, maybe just slightly lower skill, like as far as like best gods, like Shelty is Loki or Set would probably beat Skady's best, but overall Skady's really good with a bunch of different gods, and with the way this map this tournament works, where you have to change gods every game, Skady should be able to match up pretty well against Shelty. I'm not surprised that this is the semifinals on this side of the brackets. This was kind of who I was thinking would be there anyway. I do believe, yes, these games were played earlier today, Mr. Blossom. So we'll probably end up seeing about 4-minute to 4:30 advances, and actually Skady is the first to advance. And he's up Oceanus, which gives him the Servant myth unit from the dock, and then also the Carnivora. Now Shelty's up just a little bit slower, about 4:15. And we'll see what happens. Oh, we got scoreboard getting put up there at the top. But yeah, this is the first game for tonight. And we see that Shelty already had to move Vils to the mainland, and Skady can just contentedly chop wood for a while. And Skady should have the advantage. I mean, he advanced a little bit faster. Shelty might end up trying to move those Prometheans to Skady's base. I believe he did that in his last Vinlandsaga game, where he'll make a few Prometheans and then transport them over. We've got our first fight. Nicely placed Carnivora, actually. That'll give Skady kind of control of that location. And Shelty will have to be careful not. He already lost one boat, because that Carnivora gets an instant kill as soon as it's used, and once that instant kill recharges, it can do another instant kill. So that's really great. In fact, you get another one right there, and yeah, he just got another instant kill right next to that dock. So that's a great placement for that Carnivora, and we can see that Shelty is already, like, economically, as far as the water is concerned, is behind, because 3 of his boats are having to be garrisoned, and Skady's quite a bit ahead in boat production. And that's just the Gaia power on this map. And some of these games, depending on like how they go, they can really end pretty quickly when you have kind of unusual mats where they can kind of snowball. And this is a game that can't snowball. And in fact, Skady is, like, right now in my mind, he's kind of way ahead. Shelty made a few Promethean, like 2 that he wants to transport over to Skady's base, but he can't, because Skady has firm control of the water. And Skady is just massacring Shelty's boats. I mean, Shelty has like 2 or 3 military boats right now, and I don't even know if like Skady's even lost a military boat yet. And he's even like forcing those Vils kind of idle there. So we'll see what Shelty's able to do here. I don't see where his transport ship is. He'll probably be trying to transport some Prometheans, unless he lost it, which he might have. Or no, I think it's actually in the bottom left right now, going along the side of the map. And Shelty's going to lose more boats there. Yeah, this is a pretty quick GG, I feel like, as well, Sir JFD. And here comes another Carnivora, just right next to the dock. Really, the only thing Shelty could hope to do at this point would be to... Okay, there's the transport, the Prometheans. Would be to, like, magically push Skady off of the mainland completely, which he might be able to get initial advantage with the Prometheans. And now he is making counter barracks as well. But these Prometheans, kind of, if they want to do work, they got to find out exactly where Skady's troops are, and if instead these Prometheans are contenting themselves by killing the Gaia units there. Vine Earth story selected is... You're gonna have to tell me what Vine Earth story is. I'm assuming you're like comparing the map to something, but I don't know what you're talking about by Vine Earth story. But I'm not sure why people love it so much. Oh, Vinlandsaga. Okay, all right. Play on words that I didn't get. And apparently we're looking at the tech tree here. The Oranos does get the advantage over Gaia on land because of the unit speed bonus. I'm not sure what Joe, our caster that we're watching, is looking at here, but we're looking at the tech tree for some reason. It's not a required map. And this is going to be right now what Shelty is doing is kind of going to be his only way to kind of win this, is if he can magically push Skady completely off of land. The one thing I see is there is a gold mine pretty close to the water, and with Skady having firm control of the water, he might be able to like get enough of a landing there to keep his eco alive on the mainland, because Shelty really can't stay where that base is because it's so close to the water. And Skady still is mining his gold on his base and using the Carnivora to annoy and harass poor Shelty. What time zone? I am in Central Time Zone in the America, so -5 GMT. So right now it's 11 o'clock for me, and we will be here till the end of this series. So yeah, this is going to be Shelty's way to win now that he's completely lost water, is to try to gold block Skady, and we'll see if he can do that. Shelty has unfortunately a bunch of villies stuck on his mainland, and here comes Skady with his next landing here. Got a few villies and some Murmillos, and we'll see what he can do. Unfortunately, Shelty might have, I guess he does have a shockwave that he could use to transport his villies to the mainland. We'll see if he ends up doing that. But that gold mine's got to be almost out, and that villager might end up dying as it wanders next to all the boats. Okay, so this is the big fight here. I mean, if Shelty can miraculously hold it, he might be able to win. I'm kind of surprised that Skady is like trying to fight right now when he still has gold. Like really, Skady should just be maxing out his troops until his gold runs out on his base, because he's kind of got a limited supply of gold, really. And losing units one at a time is kind of spending his gold that he has. So we'll see. I mean, easy win on water for Skady, but if he misplays this a little too much, or he's just losing tons of units, and I don't quite understand like why Skady is trying to build towers there, because he should build it up closer to this gold mine, which is so much closer to the water, rather than that one, which isn't really close to the water at all. And right now it looks like Joe is kind of checking all of the different gold mines. And it looks like that gold mine on Skady's base might almost be done. I don't know if it's still there. Yeah, it's empty. So Skady is out of gold. And he's not going to be in heroic, so it's not like he's going to be able to change. So this is a very important fight right here if Shelty can continue this push. Yeah, I don't know why the Skady is like throwing it away. Right now he has 50 gold. 2 gold, and he's lost so many units fighting kind of pointlessly. Like he just needed to like save his army until he was essentially fully popped, and then like fight right next to that gold mine as best as he could. And instead, he lost a ton of units one by one to the point where he is kind of way behind on military, and he might be in quite a bit of trouble because he can't kill that, and he's like he could use his boats to kind of like help defend, but this is the fight right here. And imagine if he had his boats there on this, like shooting at the Terma, like he could really like. Oh, here comes a couple boats, but he's got more down there. Shelty needs to move as much troops as he can. Okay, here come the boats finally, and now Skady is on the gold mine. So he is gathering gold, but will he be able to keep up the unit production long enough? He's going to lose some villagers. He's already lost 2. He's going to lose another one. He has 1,200 wood and no gold. Loses another village. Wow. I think this is that's it. Wow. So Skady lost. Oh my goodness. So I can't believe that. I feel like Skady with his initial, like he won water in like a minute, but was way too slow to get to the land, which isn't terrible. But then his problem was he just wasted so many military units, like one at a time, fighting pointlessly when he still had gold. Like if he waits until he's full pop, 115 pop, he's fighting a straight up battle. Like look at the resource difference there. It's crazy. But he ran out of gold. Like Shelty wasn't even gathering any food. Like all Shelty was going for there was just that complete gold block, and it worked. And that amazes me that Shelty was able to win that, because that was a game that Skady should have won, but just misplayed that. Just lost too many units and then found himself gold starved. So that is the only game that we're going to have to watch as far as I know in this stream. The rest of the games I have the recorded games. So we will put Shelty 1-0 on that first game. Skady too anxious. I would agree with that. Just needed to play a little bit, really just a little bit smarter. And he was fine there. Just got a little worried, I think, and felt like he needed to fight on water or on land before he needed to. So we are going to move into now game number 2. And we are okay. So Poseidon Poseidon versus, was that Oranos on Jotunheim. Man, these guys really entertaining me with their map choices. I love it. So Jotunheim, you get kind of a troll map, really. You used to see these people playing Jotunheim, like one whole Jotunheim 6v6 and stuff like that, and always kind of a troll map. But here we are on Jotunheim, and it has okay hunt. I mean, you start with some hunt, and you have a few other packs of hunt. It's not a ton of hunt, but you know, enough to get your eco going. And Skady is Oranos versus Shelty's Poseidon. I feel like this is a good matchup for the Oranos. Because he's trying to think to double up on his storehouse with his gold mine, but he's going to want to build a second storehouse anyway, because it's kind of too far to like be reasonable. Now Jotunheim, so you got only this one entrance into the bases. I don't like, if it were maybe Egyptian, maybe be a little concerned of having like a very long drawn out game, but it's not like the Oranos will be able to wall, and I feel like the Oranos will be able to put up enough pressure earlier. It's not like Shelty will be able to, and this is a long way to wall anyway. So I don't think we'll see any sort of elongated, booming game. Instead, it'll probably be pretty aggressive. Oranos plays pretty aggressive, and I feel like Oranos is a pretty good matchup versus Poseidon. Shelty kind of made a mistake, I think, in my opinion, putting the lure next to his granary. The reason you kind of want to put your lure next to the town center is that you can save Villy seconds by having the town center kill the animals. For example, like this bear, as we kind of watched, it took a while for Shelty to kill the bear. And all that time, the vills are not gathering. So if you put it right here and then have the town center basically killing the animal for you, then you're saving on villager seconds. And oh, this Villy kind of shooting that caribou a ways away from the granary there. And like now we have another wolf that's, well, not another, the first wolf that's coming in, and it'll probably eventually attack one of these vills and then make them all go idle again. So yeah, as a Poseidon, you would generally want to put your lure right next to your town center. Is it a big deal? Really, probably not, but every little bit helps. The Atlantean, I assume, is, well, kind of not paying attention, and the scout is actually doing some work making this ville go idle. But the Atlantean will probably do like a 430 advance, do the typical counter barracks pressure, and that kind of does pretty well against Poseidon, I think. Poseidon's main kind of claim to fame is who has idle early. Yes. Well, apparently Skady had some idle earlier Oranos. That happens. Happens to the best of them. Where's the cam? So I don't do the cam on my recorded game broadcast here of the tournament. Really, we're kind of here. It's more about the players and a little bit of a distraction. I mean, we're watching the players. It's their games, kind of celebrating the players. This is the semifinal, celebrating them. And in these cases, I feel like the camera is just kind of an unnecessary distraction. And this lure is even kind of like scuffing up, like even his pathing here. I mean, like, look at this deer. Like, they gotta walk all the way from here over through this lure. And Shelty is aging up. He'll be up about 430 with Ares, which is actually will be up faster than the Oranos, who is going up Prometheus. So Ares gives Pestilence, which I would think Shelty would use pretty much right away. And is getting some, actually some decent harass in on this Ville with the hero and path blocking with the scout. If he, I actually feel like if he path blocked this Ville well enough, he would maybe have forced out a shockwave. But that Ville is kind of slowly making its way to the temple, or not the temple, the tower. And, yep, so, but even without the kill, that's a pretty good, actually, idleness of the villager there. And we now have Ares, and he will actually get line of sight of that initial barracks, maybe? Oh, so actually, Skady is doing a really good job here of separating his military buildings, because I don't think Pestilence will reach both of them. Do you occasionally play on Steam? These tournaments are being played on Voobly with the original Age of Titans version, but there are some tournaments that are on Steam. There's a 1v1 league that just started on Steam, but most of the tournaments are on Voobly. And so, yeah, Pestilence gets the temple and the counter barracks. And this harass here on the Villy will force it to go idle. And right now, Skady only has production from one military building, which is the barracks. And wants to be careful that he doesn't lose his Villies. Okay, so he's actually going out raiding with a couple Murmillo. And has found some hunt, and might end up killing a Villy. Well, he would kill it if he would attack it. There we go. Alright, so he's got her. One Villy for your free Promethean is definitely worth, and also a lot of idle time. Voobly, V-O-O-B-L-Y. And oh, we gonna get the instant grab? Oh, and then it'll do some splash damage up here and might kill the Vill. Oh man, it almost killed that Villy. Oh my goodness, that the Centaur or the Cyclops where he throws the unit is like completely random. Like he could throw it anyway. That was a solid throw, right on top of the Vills, and he almost killed that one Vill. That was pretty awesome. I would have been so ecstatic if it would have killed that Vill. Well, here comes the first Valor, which will end up eventually a dead Cyclops. And oh, Skady needs to be careful. You can like kind of dodge that throw, and he's gonna throw this next one right on top of the hero there. Okay, all right. Yeah, each time it lands, it does damage. It's such an awesome like part of that attack that most people don't realize like really exists. But it's you get those tosses in the right spot, it can do a ton of damage. I mean, this Vill has literally 4 HP, literally 4 HP. But oh, these okay, little Murmillo raid here. So Shelty, even though he's been on the aggression for so long. The problem is with the 430 advance and getting pushed off of his hunt is that his eco maybe isn't quite what it needs to be. So you would think that like Shelty would be way ahead, but he's not, unfortunately. This lure also, I think, is not quite close enough to be... I don't know why this lure isn't luring any more animals. Sometimes that happens. But Shelty he's even doing a very heavy, oh, he's house too. Doing a very heavy food-based strategy. And I don't know if that's quite what he should be doing. Because he's not hunting right now at all. And he's going to be running out of food pretty soon. And like the Atlantean in this situation gets so much value out of the Terma. They're such a good unit. And then they don't cost food, so essentially kind of like free in a way. I mean, not really free, but food is the most valuable resource early on in the game. And Shelty does get the relic that makes horses run faster. That's a good relic for the Poseidon. But he has to be careful. This is a nice little raid here, and he will probably lose a Vill or two. Okay, just one Vill. That's still solid, though. Like, Skady killed one Vill without taking almost any damage at all. And we can see that Skady's got quite much larger of an army at this point. Shelty kind of running all the way down here and then having to be forced back by just a couple Murmillo was... Probably should have kept a little bit more of his units back, because then he probably could have ended up hunting all of this, but he sent a little bit, like outside of the early hero and Cyclops, that's probably enough to send forward. And now Shelty, we see him, he's moving to farms at 8 minutes and 50 seconds with some hunt still in play, and that's not where you want to be, unfortunately, as your Poseidon. And Shelty trying to get around on these Terma, but there's still a ton of Murmillos. And Shelty might probably, I don't even think he's really going to win this first fight. And that's kind of his whole army there. And Skady got a huge army coming. Well, not huge, but still a lot more units coming. And yeah, Skady will win this fight. And with Shelty like stuck in his base, I think I'm no Poseidon expert, but I kind of feel like probably Hippocon archers would have been better, just because of how little food he actually has access to. Because Hoplite's at 50 food, and then your Hippocon's at 36 food, and then trying to make Vills is just not all going to happen. And he's like still got a few, like he could have like hunted these at least at one point. And Shelty coming forward for a little bit of a raid, but does have to be careful. His wood line is also kind of poor as well. He's really only got like one accessible wood line. Like this, there's so few trees, and this is really far forward as well. And we've got a pretty hefty raid coming in on his back line, and Shelty just resigns just like that. So very quick game here. It started off looking really good for Shelty, but just left himself a little bit too open to raids on the back end, which really hurt his economy. And even though he was doing a ton of damage to Skady early, I don't think he ever actually killed a citizen. He just made them idle for a while. So with no citizen kill while they're idle, like over time, that really doesn't do a whole lot. I don't think he killed a... Yeah, he didn't kill a citizen. And like comparing the resources, we can just see that initially, this is when Shelty's putting on the harass. You know, he's doing pretty good, but then once he starts getting pushed off of his hunt, from here to here, he's like, his eco is just not where it needs to be, to the point where he's like way behind. 8,500 food, or 8,500 to 6,000 at the 10-minute mark. So that is a win for Skady. Oranos is one of Skady's best gods, and do remember there are no repeat god choices. So no more Oranos for Skady, and Shelty losing Poseidon isn't really the end of the world for him. But we will move on now to game number 3, and Kronos v Kronos on Medit. Okay. This is also kind of a snowbally matchup. So Medit. So we've got Skady down the bottom. Hey, what's up, Nava? And yeah, Oranos is very strong as well. And Shelty's Greek is probably not his strong suit, for sure. So we've got Shelty up here in the blue as Kronos, and then Skady also as Kronos on the bottom on Medit. And we've seen a few Kronos games in this tournament, and it's all about the early aggression. Kronos tries to advance at like 4:15 with some Prometheans, deconstruct on docks, and then early water fight, and can kind of be one of those snowbally games. I forget who we watched a week or so ago, where one of the Kronos advanced at like 4:10 and the other advanced at 4:30, and that advanced difference, the speed with which the quicker advancing Kronos was able to put on aggression, ended up in like a 7-minute win for him. So if one of these two players do like the 4:30, they would be at a pretty significant disadvantage. 20 seconds might not seem like much, but when it's all about that early initial push and pressure, it's huge. So they have each traded deconstruct on the other player's docks, and will rebuild. So when you use deconstruct, it removes the building and does restore your resources. So it's not like they're out the 120 wood for the dock. They just have to rebuild it, which is a bit of an annoyance. In this situation, not super important. But again, it just is part of those things to slow down the enemy. If you're slowing them down just that 5 or 10 seconds, that can be big. Medit is all about winning the water, especially in 1v1. Very rare that the god that loses the water wins the game. About the only exception is like a Ra, who has rain to recover the food loss. But otherwise, pretty much trying to rush to classical age in this matchup. So we will see what kind of advances they do. Skady's Kronos or Atlantean overall is pretty good, but Shelty's had some pretty good Oranos or Atlantean play also this this tournament. No temple being built yet. Kind of surprised by that. The fact that there's no temple being built tells me that they might both be doing about the 4-minute 30 advance. Maybe. Shelty will... when you do the 4:30 advance, you do have some idle town center time. And it looks like, okay, so Shelty is doing the 4-minute, about 10, it ends at about 4:15. He's going to have to force drop his food. He's got some food in there. Yep. So force drop those, and he'll be aging up right at 4, hit the age up button. There you go, 4:20. And Skady is going to be slower. He will be about 4:35-ish, probably. Without any idle town center time. So, like, if he can withstand the initial push, his eco will be slightly better. And he'll be up about 4:38. So, yeah, we'll have about a 20-second difference. And in my opinion, this is strongly, just that 20 seconds is strongly in Shelty's favor. Even though slightly worse eco, one fewer vil, a little bit of idle town center time. Those military units out 20 seconds faster is huge. Shelty's deconstruct will be up in a minute and 16. So Skady really will need to build another dock, and he does not. He won't have the time because Shelty is almost up, and he might actually have this vil surrounded right now. Oh. Okay. In fact, if he like shifts a manor here, that vil will be blocked. Shift a manor right here. Shift a manor. Shift a manor. He could have. He could have shifted one of his manors right here. But so Shelty is up first. Oh, this vil is kind of. Oh, okay. There's a way through the woods. And he will have the first boats as well. And deconstruct in 30 seconds. We'll have the first boats on water to help out with this fight. And Skady gets them out right after too. Actually, none of the boats aren't even shooting at each other. They're all shooting at the oracles. And Shelty is... Skady's actually able to defend this pretty decently. Okay. The last time we saw this is that Shelty won a pretty... or whoever it was, won a really fast victory. But Skady defended. If that would have been a vil kill there, would have been strongly in Shelty's favor. But he didn't quite get that Villy kill in. He got just... But now we'll see if Skady is able to get the second dock. The second dock is very important, and Skady does not have line of sight to deconstruct one of Shelty's docks. But will this dock get up? Okay, now he sent a boat up to get line of sight. And he did rebuild that second dock, but in the meantime, with Skady only at the one dock, he was kind of lost a ton of his boats. So right now, Skady does not have boats, and Shelty does. And this is still kind of the after effect of advancing slightly slower. This Promethean might end up finishing off these units here. He could probably actually kill that Oracle in a few attacks. Maybe. We'll see how he does. Okay, nope. He's coming up here. Okay, what is Skady? Okay, Skady is putting all of his boats in his dock. So he's making military building or boats, but he's hiding them in his dock. Because he can't give up water. But right now, really, kind of what's happened. So, oh, here they come out. Oh, there they go. Okay, all right. Well, you got to stay underneath your dock. Okay. Get your dock shooting at the boats. Yep, that's important. Actually, quite a few low hit point boats for Shelty. There's another one right here that Skady looks like he is picking off. So good for him to target those low HP boats. And this one only has one shot too. Oh, this one only has one shot. You could just one shoot that thing. And it's gonna go pretty soon. Maybe. No. Okay. Skady does defend that too, though, fighting underneath your docks. Docks with a garrisoned boat do have an attack, and it's like 16 attack or so because they fire 2 arrows, which is pretty similar. Do boats, now that I need to remember, do they fire 3 arrows or 2? We'll find out. Oh, Shelty's got something in his temple here, though. And here comes our next fight. Oh, Skady a little too far ahead. Yeah, so you see Skady losing. Okay, so they fight. They shoot 3 arrows, so essentially a dock is about the same attack as one boat. So anytime Skady is in defense, he has essentially like a 2-boat addition to his army. Right now it's 16 boats to 15. So yeah, they shoot 3 arrows. I mean, assuming they all hit, it's 18 attack, and the dock with is 16 attack. So the dock is about the same as a boat. Okay. Oh, so see, like right now, Skady is not fighting with this whole boat troop. Like half of them are down here, so this should end up going Shelty's favor. Yeah, well, Skady's actually kind of sticking around in this fight. Wow. I kind of felt like Shelty kind of like managed his boats better, but Skady ended up winning that fight. And now he is going to be on the offensive. Shelty should garrison into his dock. There he goes. So now he's garrisoned. Is it? Oh, they're fighting just outside of range of the. Oh! Watch your boats. There you go. Shelty needs to move back just a little bit further to get under that dock. Now the dock's shooting. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that is kind of the downside when it comes to look at these Prometheans shooting each other. When it comes to like boat battles, the defender kind of gets the advantage, which generally when you're talking about just kind of game mechanics overall or game design, really the defender shouldn't be the one that gets the advantage. It kind of goes against how the game should, I mean, in my opinion, how it should kind of be is usually the player on aggression should kind of be the one that gets the advantage. Oh, Shelty needs to be careful though. He's kind of going way in and now he's kind of retreating. It's quite the boat battle. This is about as even as like a 1v1 Medit as you'll see. We've got 17 boats to about 15 with the dock shooting. Skady falling back a little bit here. Oh, losing a boat by itself. And Shelty will fall back now that he's kind of pushed Skady all the way back to the dock. Do we have anything going on land? Okay. So Shelty did lose his temple. Probably should Valor this here, though. I'm trying to cast Valor for him. Because he's going to end up having these 3 Murmillo kind of running into these Promethean. And yeah, Shelty does have Valor. This is a good fight for Shelty again. We can see like how long all of Shelty's boats are fighting and Skady's aren't. So even though Shelty is now retreating, that was a good, he picked off 2 boats really for almost free. And okay, I guess they end up just running right past each other, just kind of waving high as they wander past each other along the beach. And again, Skady losing a boat for 2 boats for nothing. Like he didn't even shoot there. Oh, Shelty. Oh, good micro by Skady to bring that boat all the way down. That did not end up well for Shelty. Shelty is probably distracted by this or something going on here. But Shelty does have the boat advantage. He should kind of fight all at the same time, though. I mean, he's got 4 boats fighting here. These retreating. But he's got a lot going on. He's now got these Promethean all over his Woodvilles. Or what were they? Yeah, they were his Woodvilles. And now we've kind of got 4 Woodvilles not gathering. And he does have a little bit of pressure down here, but he's not really getting nearly as much value out of his units there as opposed to these Promethean. And wow, where in the world is Shelty going? Oh man. Oh, then Shelty sent his military buildings forward too. Like he has nothing like at home to defend this, other than this lone Murmillo. And Shelty is losing over here on this side, so this is kind of quickly turned into like a bit of a train wreck for Shelty. I mean, these Promethean have done so much value, whereas if like Shelty would have just cast Valor on his first Murmillos coming down, he would have like been able to kill all these, but that was big. And Shelty tried to do a gold block here, but he lost the fight. So, and now he could win the water. I mean, he's got, what is it, 14 boats to 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, he's got the huge boat advantage. And he could kind of cut off, he could have cut off Skady's retreat and really kind of killed off the entire, oh man, and there's not a single, oh, here comes the hero. Here comes our hero to save the day. Wow, with those Promethean. Well, they killed a Villi. Maybe not. Well, where's this Murmillo going? He's kind of like the fake hero to save the day. Like, he just runs right past. And Shelty loses another citizen. And we'll lose one more. Oh, another one. 3 citizens through these Promethean. That was so much value. And Shelty is finally killing these boats. But his land economy is in kind of shambles here, and he's still got these Promethean like causing mayhem. What Shelty needed to do was see these manners. As Kronos, you have time shift. He could have just time shifted a manor or two here. Okay, so the hero Murmillo finally does what he's supposed to do. And Shelty is winning the water now, with Skady kind of just giving it up at this point. And Skady knows he has the land advantage and is coming. Oh, okay. He's even got medium Murmillo as well. And Skady, this is well played by Skady. He knows he wins this fight because he's got these military buildings. He might not win this initial fight here, but he's splitting up his troops, so these will come up and plant. They are going to sit on the gold mine. And with, okay, so a little bit pushing back, but Skady will be able to defend this. And we'll sit on this gold mine. And Shelty, what kind of gold? Well, he has a lot of gold, though. But again, no... Oh, as Kronos, you always need to have a manor next to your villies. And that pressure on that gold mine is forcing Shelty back. And that is a 4th citizen. A 5th citizen that has died so far this game. Going after the low HP one here. Well played by Skady. 6. And this will be 7. Wow. That's rough. And like that could all be prevented by just having a manor here. And now, while we were all focusing on that, okay, he has a few boats here running around, but like we could see, so Shelty has the water 1, but the water at the expense of 7 citizens, that's Skady's benefit there. Shelty will defend this, but here comes another pack. Oh, can he get some damage in? Oh, that does force him back. Okay. Skady's still making boats. Oh, he did. Skady started making boats again on water. I'm not quite sure why. Skady has 3 town centers and Shelty only 2. Shelty is at 112 and 130 pop. Skady 132, 145. And you also have to keep in mind that a lot of Shelty's pop is right here on his navy, which does not help when it comes to this. And why these boats aren't sitting on the beachhead here. They could be doing so much damage right now. Because actually with the way this tree line is, these units would all have to wander right past the boats to get here. But Shelty missed his opportunity, and Skady's going to just sit on this gold mine. And I don't know how that's going to go for Shelty because, I mean, he's just falling so far in here. He just resigns just like that. Wow. That was a good game. Short, but there was a lot that happened in that 16-minute game. And this is kind of one of those times where the player that wins the water, though he didn't really win it like cleanly, but the player that won the water did lose. Put an asterisk because of how long it took for him to win the water. Like at this point in the stage, at this point in the game, water not quite as valuable, especially when you're losing 7 citizens. I mean, that is a ton of citizens, and that's not being replaced by 4 fishing boats. I mean, all that water fight for right now, he has 4 boats. That's not good. But well played by Skady. He did a really good job. And that early Promethean just kind of was the start of the train wreck that happened on land for Shelty. So well played by Skady there, and we can see that even with Shelty winning the water, he's behind Eco, and that's because of his killed Vils. Now this here is, I believe, fishing ships getting killed. And it looks like by the graph that Shelty is kind of ahead, but remember these are fishing ships. And fishing ships aren't nearly as good as citizens. So well played by Skady there. Really well played. And I did have a follow, Mr. Goku, with a bunch of extra H's at the end. Followed, so welcome. So Skady is up 2-1. Remember, this is a best of 7. So Skady up 2-1. We will watch one more game, then kind of update our gods and go over what all is left for them to choose. So game number 4. And actually, give me a second. I am going to step away for just a minute. Yeah, Kronos Wars are cool. That was a good game. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I had to step away. The baby is crying for no real reason. Sometimes babies do that. So she will have to go back to sleep. Sometimes you gotta be mean as a parent. Baby's crying, there's really no reason. She just woke up, and sometimes that happens. Wakes up, cries in the middle of the night for 10 minutes, and goes back to sleep. So we will give her that 10-15 minutes and see what happens after that. So what's up, my man? Good to see you. We're moving on to game number 4. So we have Thor versus Zeus on Savannah. This is another fun matchup. Generally in the Zeus's favor. But who is our Thor? Our Thor is Shelty. And he is blue. And our Zeus is Skady, and he is red up at the top. On Savannah. Now, overall, I would say this is in the Zeus's favor. Generally, when that initial gold mine runs out, the Thor can have a really hard time getting a second gold mine, because then he's going to be facing probably basically a full pop Zeus army with restoration. And that restoration, the 6 seconds or 7, however long it lasts, I mean, basically kind of, 7 or 6 seconds of invulnerability. And in that time, you kind of get pushed off of gold. And then once you lose your gold, well, it's over. What is Skady's main god? So Skady plays quite a few different gods. I think kind of historically, he's been an Oranos set primarily. But he plays a lot of different gods really well. I like Skady as a player. He's pretty good. He plays quite a few gods at high levels. His set and Oranos are probably his best. but he's pretty good with Greek as well. I think he does not play Norse though, so Egyptian, Atlantean, Oranos, he's all pretty solid with. Norse, I don't even know if I've ever seen him play Norse. And we have Shelty moving forward to these giraffe in the middle. He should have a rhino somewhere as well. Probably back here. Nope. In here? Yep, there it is. So there's his rhino. So he does have a rhino. And he has moved all the way forward to the giraffe in the middle of the map. And Skady has kind of a nice lineup for his hunt as well. He can just move right from his rhino straight over to his giraffe. And it's a lot of giraffe. What are we looking at here? 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2,400 worth of hunt right in this spot here. It's pretty solid. Getting pig sticker. That is pretty normal. So what you normally see in this is the Greek probably going, I don't know, I think it's pretty standard, a hoplite Toxotes, I think. Yeah, it is a late pig sticker. You're right. At 248, I'm kind of surprised. Thor is strong here. I don't know. I'd say the Thor would have a hard time. Oh, you mean with forest fire? Well, potentially. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, it is forward wood, but in order to get at the other wood line, he has to be on the advantage. And like the first two heroes plus the Minotaur plus Hoplite Toxotes, that will push Shelty off of Hunt, I would think. And Hunt is so much more important than Wood. And I think Shelty would have a hard time, like, blocking all over. I don't think he goes Sense here, though. I don't know why. I don't think there would be any reason for the Skady to go Centaur. I think it's more... Well, he is. I don't know. I think it is better. I mean, I'm no Greek pro by any means, but he is going Sense, which makes, for what you guys are saying in the chat, makes it a lot more sense, so to speak. So Skady is a Centaur lover. Is Shelty going to go up with? Okay, he's going up Freya. So Skady just loves Hermes, and he's not going up for Seti though. He is going up Freya. Because yeah, what Boyd is talking about in the chat is that if Shelty goes up with for Seti, then he gets the Heimdall, not the Heimdall, the Hersier tech that makes them faster. So he is up for Seti. I don't know. Athena Rush is all in, but I think it's kind of like a easy all in my opinion. But again, I'm no Greek pro. I'm just an observer, and we might end up, I think, looking for that wood line to use. Yeah, you're right. Athena Rush does require a little bit more behind the scenes work, but I think it's pretty solid. And actually, looks like Skady might maybe get pushed off of this. No. Skady uses the bolt on the Valkyrie. Yep, so the Valkyrie's dead. That's pretty standard. And Skady will push off those two Hersier. And Shelty maybe want to manage his ox cart just a little bit. Very slow to build his military buildings. So he sent his two Hersier forward first to get the push on the Hunt. I think he was hoping to push the Vils off of Hunt, but he didn't, and so now he'll be kind of way behind the military production, I would think. I mean, look at all the resources he's floating right now. Quite a bit of resources, and Skady is making another Centaur. So he's actually making two Centaur and not yet getting the upgrade yet. Yeah, you don't losing that Herseer. He lost. Well, he just lost one, but the other one is half dead. But yeah, with Shelty not getting his forest fire in, he's in really rough shape because he couldn't even, at least for a little bit, like cause some sort of idle time on the wood line. And he's now pushed into his base. Lost a villager, 2 villagers actually, and a Herseer. And without Hall of Thanes, his Herseer will have a very hard time getting at the centaurs later on. And I think our upgrade descent is probably going to happen soon. Yeah, he's getting it. Yeah, I think Freya can work. As I think it was Snick mentioning in chat, is that you can, or maybe it was Groided Gerdage, kind of talking about preventing the wood, but hasn't used forest fire, and so there was no like interruption of the centaur spam. So he's gonna be tough for Shelty to come back. Because what Shelty was trying to do, he wanted to get the early push on the Villies and get them idle, but he couldn't quite do that. And like now, the Centaur will just pick off the raiding cavalry. And that'll be, well, 1 dead raiding cavalry. And Shelty coming forward with some raiders over here. What kind of relic we got? Oh, nice relic, but I don't think it'll be important. And now we have the upgraded centaurs. It is late, so he made an extra. Usually what you do is you'd make 1 centaur and then upgrade. Skady made 2. And here comes a raid in on... you might be able to do some... maybe kill a couple Vils. Might not even need to use forest fire here, actually. Oh, wow, they kind of skipped on out of there. Sometimes the Vils are like magical where they can... okay, did kill 2 Villies. And there is a fight down here. Oh, these centaur. Oh my goodness. Wow. Centaur going almost in melee range isn't exactly good. Okay, 1 centaur down. And this fight is going really well for Shelty, like as good as it could, really. But still, these guys look how slow they are. When you've got when you've got them also getting attacked by the hoplite, which slows the Herseer down. Like, and what's sad is that went about as good of a fight as it could for the Thor in that situation, and then he still lost it. And did kill 2 Villies, but at the expense of 2 raiding cavalry. Still worth. Still has that forest fire. She could do some damage with it. But even just comparing the military sizes here, we're seeing Skady with probably a little bit better, better army. I mean... the problem with Herseer is that at 80 food, they are so expensive. And Shelty did also make a Valkyrie, which is, what, 200 food? And watch out, all you Villies. Alright, they got away without any deaths, but now where is Shelty going to go for his hunt? It would be nice to keep his raiding cavalry busy. He's kind of at the point where, does he raid with the raiding cavalry, or does he try to come back and defend? Like, if Shelty doesn't do big damage with his raiding cavalry, he's kind of screwed. And this Herseer could maybe, but look at that. Just picked off 3 throwing axemen for nothing. I don't think Shelty knows about this forward storehouse here. Yeah, he doesn't. Which is too bad. And these centaurs just picked off so many units. Yeah, he like the problem is if he could have maybe gone right on this wood line and killed a few vills, he could have like come back and maybe kind of like half clean this up. But he went all the way up here and did no damage at all with the RC, and in the meantime lost quite a few units to the centaurs and also a house and a temple. And he is now out of his starting gold mine, and this is again the point where the Thor gets really scared versus Zeus is that gold block, and I guess if he wanted to hide the fact that he was hunting there, or mining there, these dwarves kind of gave that all away. But this is kind of the all-in fight for Shelty here. Where are the centaurs? Okay, forest fire. Where did the centaurs go? They're way back there. As soon as the centaurs show up, this fight goes probably completely different. Oh, didn't reposition his archers though. So the archers will be dead, but Shelty only has one Herseer and he's just died. Valkyrie chasing the centaurs, and yeah, it's just... Without the Herseer, nothing to be done about this. And here comes the Zeus army in on the gold mine, and it is looking like Shelty will be down 3-1. And really, when we look back on, yeah, just this last fight here, and dwarves dying, and no Herseer for these centaurs, and well played by Skady here. Just can't kill the centaurs. Like this army might as well just be completely useless because there's nothing to kill the centaurs, and that is GG. So Skady is up 3-1, and with how that first game went, which Skady should have really won, but he kind of misplayed it. This should at this point be a 4-0 Skady win. This is a best of 7, so we're not done yet. We look at the kill-loss ratio, not looking good. So the centaurs worked well. I was thinking maybe we would see the restoration push, but that did not happen. So I'm going to throw it down to my overlay. So my baby, I thought she would go to sleep, but she is not. So what we will do is I will dim the lights, I will make her some milk, and we will have a little visit with Ava while I update my summer overlay. So I'll be right back. I'll update the games up to game 4. Remember, this is a best of 7, so give me a minute. I will be back with the baby. Intermission starting now. Hey, you need to drink your milkies. Alright, so here's baby Ava. What are you so sad about? I made you your milkies. Yes, here's the baby. Let me update our stream here. Get the gods up to date. She keeps smiling at me. Now, are you hungry or what's going on? This is very unusual for little baby, that she wakes up in the middle of the night and is very unhappy. So I'm not really sure what's going on with her. Usually she's hungry, but she does not seem like she wants the bottle. Instead, she's just smiling at me like this is the greatest joke ever. Alrighty, so we are going to update our score here, and the scoreboard. So I just need to find where my proper folder is for that. There we go, stream images, and we are looking at AOM summer. So can babies have nightmares? I would assume they can. I don't think why not. So game 1 was Gaia, Oranos. Game 2 was Poseidon versus Oranos. Game 3 was Kronos. Game 4, which we just watched, with Zeus, Thor. So we will get our updates here. Do you want the milk, little baby? Or are you sad? So very strange. So we will get, okay, so we had Shelty as Thor versus Zeus. Game 3, Brady 3, meanwhile, was Kronos. Game 2, I'm running out of room already. Skady was Oranos. Right here. I have to try to cram this in somehow. Shelty was Oranos, game 1. Okay, this is looking a little bit better. Okay, Thor, Zeus. What? Get our win. Oh. I deleted my win. So I don't know what's wrong with the baby. What? Why are you awake at this hour? Why are you awake? You don't even want milk. This is very strange. Alright, so Skady wins game 1. Or no, he didn't. Skady lost game 1. Yeah. Win, win, win. So actually Shelty, with 3 games remaining, he will have to win all 3 of these last games. And remember that there are no repeat god choices. So in these players, Shelty, for example, won't be able to choose those gods anymore. And game 1 was on Vinlandsaga. Game 2 was on... Dang it, I don't have enough room for all the maps. So, whatever. Anyway. Here, do you want some milk? No. Now you're smiling at me. But she should be sleeping. So, we will probably move on to game number 5 here shortly. But I'm probably going to have to put baby back to sleep because there is no reason that she should be awake. She is very... It's 12 o'clock. We need to go to bed. Babies. So, why she is up at 12:20 in the morning, I don't know. You are interrupting our very important Age Mythology stream. waving at the screen for some reason. Alrighty. So let us get to, maybe she'll just fall asleep while I'm doing this game. Can you say hi? Hi. Shh. Anyway, game number 5. So Shelty versus Skady. Game 5, best of 7. Shelty's down 3-1. And he needs to win the last 3. So we will just, I will try to, why are you waving? She just learned to wave, so she's very proud of herself. Aren't you? So proud of yourself. So we will just get right into, yeah, she knows you guys are watching apparently. Somehow she knows. Right, baby. Anyway, RTS League recorded game. We will move to game number 5. Okay, we have our first Egyptians right now. And we are Shelty, Ra, and Skady set. Oh, you have a 2-week-old? That's awesome. So Shelty, Ra, Skady set. I would say this is kind of one of Skady's mains as well. Set and Oranos I feel like are probably his best. But Shelty plays quite a bit of Ra as well, and Ra is kind of one of those gods that is not very hard to play very well at all. So we have some starting hunt here. Is Shelty getting hunting dogs? Yes, no, he is. Okay. I generally not a huge fan of Ra hunting dogs on Alfheim. I don't generally think you get the resources back that you get in paying for it. But Shelty's getting it, and we'll see how that goes for him. Layla is a very nice name. It was actually one of my favorites as well. And now Skady down here is set. Not of all set maps, this perhaps is not the best. And oh, Shelty is coming forward. This will be, oh, we did just see. That's huge. Because you can, the power of set is the converting of the early animals and getting map control with all of that. And forcing that priest idol from converting is huge, and it's actually forcing Skady to send his pharaoh out as well. And Shelty, the question is, will he just go back to his base, or will he try to come back here? And the map pack, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I will say, in my opinion, very strange that the pharaoh would come all the way down here. But sometimes things happen, and you never know. Again, not a conspiracy theorist, but I would say it'd be a little bit abnormal for this to occur. And now he's coming down to get the relic. This is a little bit more normal, is kind of getting this side to see if there's more hunt, which there is, but it's just 2 deer. Actually, as you considering the hunt amounts, there's not a ton, and in fact, why Skady is even really coming up here for just 2 deer? Not. I guess if he only sends 2 vills, it's not the end of the world. Well, now she just drank all of her milk. So I guess she just needed to simmer down a little. Oh, he's sending 3 vills up. Now the route here is very important to look at where the gold mines are. And this is a pretty forward gold mine. In fact, really Shelty does not have any very defensive gold mines at all, which is very important to consider. This is his closest gold mine, and that can be a little bit tough to grab, especially if Skady gets this town center. Typically what your set will do here is grab a forward town center, to absolutely screw the Ra over as far as map control, and then just squeeze the map against the Ra, and it could potentially block that gold mine completely. So we'll see if Skady grabs that forward town center or not. Who's the favorite? I mean, you'd probably have to say Shelty, but I don't feel like Skady is really much behind Shelty at all as far as like overall skill, as far as a variety of gods. I mean, if we're playing like a 1v1 best god, Shelty probably wins, but Skady is pretty good with a bunch of different gods. And now Shelty, does he have... Yeah, see, he just got those first few animals, and now he has transitioned off of hunt completely, and now is doing cows and stuff. Feel like the hunting dogs was probably a little bit of a waste of resources. Is up 510. Bless you. And Skady is up about 545. The one thing though about grabbing this town center doesn't really protect anything super important, but it kind of, it's a proxy control of this gold mine a little bit. Tusk of the Iron Boar though increases cavalry and chariot archer hit points. That is a very, very good relic. Oh, Skady is going to do an aggressive shift. I don't know if that's really worth it against Ra. Is he going to shift here? Oh, why did he shift on the back end of these vills? Does kill 2 vills, but I don't know why he shifted on this side of the vills and not right here. He could have done a lot more damage with that if he shifted, and oh, the counter shift by... So Shelty kind of did maybe a very hopeful counter shift to try to trap all these units, which for some reason Skady just sent his Pharaoh in to just die, and the Wadget stopped as well. So really counter shift not really too valuable. Oh, but these priests, oh my goodness. Okay, well that ended up a lot better for Shelty. Like these priests could have just skated down here and healed themselves up. Instead they decided to just kind of amble right past this tower, and that was not good. It killed 2 more priests. So I guess in the long run maybe useful. And it looks like Shelty might end up doing just a 1 town center. Fast heroic. And so Shelty, I don't know, you could get the gold mine. In fact, I agree. Probably would have been better because actually he could have just parked right here and really did prevented quite a bit of gold mining rather than here, which he just pushes off of food. So yeah, I would agree with that. Should have shifted on this gold mine like right here. Bless you. Jeez, my baby's just smiling at me. Now the one thing that all of that forward shifting does is that we did see that Skady trained 3 extra priests. He also lost all of his free animals, which is about 350 hunt. And, well, hello, or good night, Mr. Panda Raphael. And losing all of that hunt is really slowing Skady's advance to heroic down. Pretty significantly, because he needs hunt to advance, and I don't know, the shift, I don't have a problem with it. I feel like maybe up here would be, on the gold mine would have been a little bit more valuable, but it's not terrible. You're from Brazil and you are I'm assuming a big fan of the game? Well, me too, but I'm not from Brazil, I'm from the United States. And now he's converting these aurochs for some additional hunt. And he is up about 8 minutes, a little bit maybe after. And Shelty is up actually slightly faster. And this is just 1 town center v 1 town center. And when we're talking 1 town center v 1 town center, the Ra has the advantage. Pretty significant one because of all the eco in from the rain, along with the additional empowerment. The Ra will get a much better economy than the set. The set needs that 2-town center and needs the map control. So overall, Skady not in the best of spots as far as his chances later on, and especially because Shelty is advancing faster, which will allow him to secure this gold mine. And that is kind of one of the big ways that the Ra would lose to the set, is never having access to an additional gold mine. But Shelty will have access to the gold mine. He also has Locust, which is a very good god power in certain situations. And okay, we have the deletion of the animals. Haven't played for many years? Well, that's okay. Just hope you enjoy watching instead. We are currently doing the semifinals of a 1v1 tournament that is currently going. And Shelty and Skady are two of our best players currently. Okay, so one thing that also that Shelty has is he has the relic that makes chariots and camels have more hit points. And of course that's very good. It gives the chariot an additional 9 hit points, which at base they have, well, 90 isn't, that's not quite right. But with the Ra bonus and the relic, that's pretty strong. The camels as well, what's it give them? Additional 12 hit points. That's a good relic. For Egyptian, very good. Looking at economy. First line of everything, and Skady has nothing for farming yet, which that's pretty normal. In fact, he's got, I don't know why he is collecting food from his goats when he has all these farming animals to eat from. Like even the gator, I mean, that's about 120 hunting food that gathers so much faster. And oh, we have the locust here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 3 villies, almost more. As far as, you know, numbers, that's not the greatest locust in the world, but against good players, it's kind of hard to get your, you know, your sensational 15 vil locust, just because typically they kind of spread the units out a little bit better. But we can see that even just from score, Shelty's way ahead, and that's just from economically. I mean, without map control or hunt, the set just can't keep up, and Skady will be falling further and further behind as the game goes on. In fact, he won't even have. Does Ra have a gold mine in the northern corner? There is one way up here. In the far corner, Trout Guzzler. I like that name. Okay, I have a little fight here. Shelty just picks off a priest, and that's about it. And Shelty has also finished a town center. So he's up 2 town centers, and when we compare a resource count, 95 pot, Shelty's ahead in population. And eco, and we'll be coming over here. There's nothing really to attack over here, but we'll raid with these faster camels. And Skady, really his only chance probably is to do ancestors with this push and kill the town center. And right now with where the army is, he could get away with that. The double raid by Shelty. And will, oh man, if he would have continued, he could have picked all that off. And instead he's going back to defend. And we do have the ancestors being used. Only 2 siege. Well, here comes the 3rd. Would have been nice to kill that pharaoh with the chariots, but we got the Scorpion Man. Will do a lot of damage in the back. And will it kill the town center? Looks like it probably will. Yeah, so we'll kill the town center. So this is what Skady needed to stay in the game. Oh, one more shot. One more shot. Oh, come on. Oh, whoa, it won't. Oh my, it has right now 19, 15 hit points. 2 vills repairing. We're stuck at 1310. Oh, that about decides that right there. It got down to 10 hit points and survives. I mean, that's like one attack from the Scorpion Man, and that town center's down. Wow, 10 hit points. It went all the way down to. Really, he could almost maybe. Yeah, I think he had that siege down there. That is too bad. And in fact, the Villy stopped. He might come back and get it, maybe, but playing like a positional defense there. And no, I mean, out of gold, yes, they would have stopped repairing because they were out of gold, which that was when his starting gold mine ended. So you just saw they all showed up down here. So he was briefly out of gold, but the problem is Skady's just falling further and further behind economically, and is way behind. Way behind. Even if he would have killed the town center, it wouldn't have been like Skady would have won. It would have kind of evened the game up. I'd still, even with the town center kill with as much army as Skady lost and his ancestors' god power, probably still been in Shelty's favor slightly, but definitely with the town center not going down, that's now we've got the Pharaoh empowering, which will really make it repair so much faster. This little baby. And is Skady even close to getting another town center? This is a terrible gold mine, too. I mean, it's so inefficient. Siege towers in Egyptian battles are such good tanks. Really very good. But oh, the chariot's kind of going in, and might as well have just almost kept your Scorpion Man up like that and just finished off the Petsuchos. Shh. Does have this? What kind of eco upgrade? Oh, that's the wrong thing. First line still. And what about for Skady? He does get a little bit behind, and is currently not gathering food anywhere, like at all. He has not nary a food-villing villager right now. And oh, here comes a raid down here, and actually Shelty's trade army 16 to 12 with the raw bonuses. It's going to do some damage though. If his chariots do just fire at the villies, he will eventually lose his chariots. Shh, baby. Baby needs to go back to sleep. And now we've got Petsuchos versus Siege Tower battles. Does encourage the training of 3 mercenaries, but oh, ran the chariots away, and then Shelty's chariots came back. That hurts. So more idle time, and Skady is just falling so far behind, losing also his siege towers to these mercenaries. And down 2 town centers, almost a third, there's like, at this point, not much Skady will be able to do to come back, and he's also losing his chariots, and that is GG. So Shelty with another win, 3-2. Boy, if mommy came out and saw you on my lap right now, she would absolutely flip out. Okay, so economically, let's take a look. You see the raw kind of way ahead with the rain. Did actually, Skady caught up. Kind of surprised by that. Kind of, interesting that he caught up so much. I wonder if Shelty had like some idle villy time that I didn't see somewhere. But that is that game. Mommy is watching the stream. Jeez, I hope not. So we will get to our summer overlay, and you guys will say goodbye to baby Ava as soon as I update this. So we have the set. Oh, I got that mixed up. Set v ra. Copy, paste, duplicate. What do I think of the new version? You mean like the extended edition? It's alright. Just for me, it's really buggy, so it's like not worth it for me to play. But give me about 2 minutes, I'm going to put little baby back to bed. She drank all of her milk. So give me 2 minutes and we will be back with game number 6 in just a minute. Can you wave? Can you wave? Wave? Nope. No waves. So give me a minute. Be back. Alrighty. So I do apologize for the delay, but let's be real. Family is more important than you guys. Oh, you like my... Here is my computer chair. Let me show it to you. This is the computer chair that I use. Very high-end folding chair that I pad with a pillow. Only the best equipment in the JJ studio over here. So yeah, but that's okay. After 3 hours of streaming, how does it feel? It feels all right. I do okay. But anyway, let us move on to game number 6. Oh, let's actually look. So as we look at the gods here, kind of see which gods each player has used. And actually, Skady kind of running out of god choices. We'll probably maybe see him as... He might finish off with all Egyptian, is my guess. And Shelty still has his Set and his Loki. So Skady normally plays kind of a mix of Set, Oranos, and Zeus. And he's pretty good with all of them. His Set game there was maybe probably not his best of his Set games. But I'm going to predict that he's used up his 3 Atlanteans. And his Zeus and his Set. So he's kind of used up his best gods, but he's also probably okay with Ra. But so I think we'll see Ra in one of his last 2 games. Maybe an Isis. And Shelty still has a variety of his choices. We still got his Loki out there. And I might be Odin. So we might see Shelty finishing off if we go to the last two games. Odin, Loki, and Skady with probably Egyptian. But we'll see. Let us go back to our next game. With 2-3, Skady ahead. And game number 6 is Set versus Isis on Erebus, which is a very good set map. So Erebus, I like this. This is one of the things I love about this tournament is just you getting to see these weird maps. So we're looking at Shelty here, and he is Set. And on the left is Skady, and he is Isis. This isn't a bad Isis map either, but what this map does feature is a whole bunch of boar scattered throughout the map. And in fact, there are 5 right here that Shelty will probably start converting, or maybe he'll go and value the other side of the map and try to get some of Skady's boar, but actually there are none up here. The boar are down there, and that's it. In fact, when we talk about screwy maps in this game, the one bad thing about kind of the non-standard maps is that they can be screwy. And what I see is that Shelty has a 5 boar spawn pretty much right outside his base. And Skady doesn't have a 5 boar spawn anywhere. And Skady has his starting 3. He has 3 more here and 3 here. So that's 9 total. Skady has his starting 3. 3 more here, that's 6. 3 here, that's 12. 3 more, that's 15. And then 5 more, that's 20. So 20 to 9 as far as boar. So just looking at the map, I mean, it is pretty decent for Shelty, not to mention this right here. This is like godly gold here. He's got 2 big gold mines in the corner behind his base. Oh, and all of Skady's, there's 1 forward here. There's 1 pretty decent spot there. And then the rest are kind of up here. But yeah, I mean, when we talk about godly maps that a player could get, this is a godly map for Shelty. Now, Isis v Set, I wouldn't say it really like when you just figure straight up. I'd say it's probably pretty even matchup overall. But given the map, I would say Shelty would have a definite advantage with this, because the one bad thing about Isis is kind of all about that one town center Ancestors Eclipse push. But given how the map is, really, what is he going to Ancestors Eclipse push? Maybe this town center, but this town center is so forward anyway, I don't know if Shelty would even grab it. Like the one town center Ancestors Eclipse push, there's just nothing to push. I mean, except for the base, but usually you're not going to push through the base. I mean, these 2 gold mines back here, that kind of completely changes how this game goes. And, oh, found the priest. We'll kill him. Okay, that's good. So Shelty was trying to snag a few of Skady's priests, but was not able to. And for some reason, we have Skady. Okay, not quite housed. I was thinking that with his panic build, he was maybe housed, but he's not. Well, almost housed. Oh, he should consider moving his Pharaoh to here to empower all of these fills. And will Skady find those bottom boar? I think he will with this obelisk getting. This would actually be big if he does not find those. Once age 2, he reaches age 2, the obelisk range does increase, or line of sight, so he would see it automatically with age 2 being researched, but that might be kind of a little bit late. Maybe will result in some kind of inefficient. And what the heck is he doing? Why did he build a lumber camp there? I wonder if it was supposed to be a house. Erebus's wood lines can also be kind of crappy. There is this back wood line here protected by the snakes. And there's this forward wood mine there. But, where did... Oh, so Shelty went down here. And is not hunting from that 5-pack of boar. I guess he doesn't really know this is 5 boar. He only ever scouted the 3. Oh, what kind of relic, though? I have warned those. Shelty is using vision. Was he going to shift forward? Oh, he can't. The monument is blocking. Nicely placed monument to block the shift. So Shelty with a very quick age up is grabbing this town center. He will be slowed down. Oh, these shades! Oh, come on, get him, get him, get him! One more shot! Yes! I love it when the Gaia units kill your units. It's so awesome. So this shade is actually those 2 guys were kind of annoying. But we've got more boar right next to this town center. Smacked. Yes, indeed. Smacked. And will Skady... How close is he to advancing? Only 50%. Yeah, not getting these boar is really going to hurt Skady. Because he does not have... And in fact, you don't have any other food. So this could... If he doesn't scout this could completely screw him because... This is the last of his natural food on this half of the map. So he is... I don't know what he's going to do. He did not quite... Okay, so the line of sight actually doesn't increase. Where's he going? Like, he's trying to find food, and this is just such a pointless voyage up to nowhere. And that is the lack of the scouting in this corner is really going to cost him. Grabbing a town center here. Ooh, we'll pick off a Vil. Maybe 2. Oh, just get it. Sometimes the Sphinx can get stupid. Okay. Oh, yeah, 2 Villies, so that's good. Shelty does have a second town center as the set. Still has tons of hunt. And oh man. Skady finds this. Oh, he does. That'll be huge too. This will probably force all of them to be idle. Yeah. You're right, not finding those boars, like he could be aging up. And instead, yeah, he is making farms at 7 minutes. One more Vil kill. Like, imagine these Vil kills. 3 Vil kills combined with the aging up at a normal time for the Isis. And that would be huge. But not those boars forcing him to hunt at 7 minutes as an Isis. That sucks. And imagine if he would have had the 5 boar spawn too. I mean, I guess this is maybe a 3 and 2 boar spawn. But remember when we went at the start of the game and what was it? 20 boar to 9? And that is huge. How much did you miss? Well, we are on game number 6. So you missed 5 games, unfortunately, Mr. Khan. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to blame... I've never been a fan of blaming the map for losses, but the 20 to 9 boar count is very unfortunate, to say the least, for Skady. Very, very unfortunate. And theoretically, he could have worked through it if he found those boar. And it could have changed things because then he would be aging up at kind of a normal time. But yeah, the gold mines as well. I mean, if someone were to be like, if they were to have a poster trying to rewind back then. Yeah, that is the one nice thing of YouTube is that you can like just rewind back. So you can catch me, the old me back in time. But yeah, the gold mines too. But anyway, what I'm kind of getting at is if someone were to like point to a map and say, well, this is the poster map of the poster board child of a map that decided an outcome. This is it. This is the one that you'd put on your poster and be showing all your friends that, yeah, this is what cost Skady the game. And yeah, it is a rough map difference. Now, does that mean the game's completely over? No, but the problem is when you are two really good players playing each other, such a huge map difference can be gigantic in determining the win-loss of the game. I don't even want to know. I don't know why Shelty builds his mining camp on this side. I mean, it's the short side of the gold mine. I mean, these villas are like automatically lining up like they want the mining camp to be right there. Well, yeah, Shelty is considerably ahead of Skady when it comes to advancing. Skady is not close to advancing at all. Forced to make a barracks army, which, well, no, he is kind of close, so not as far off as I thought. And why, again, Skady does this a lot, and this is the one thing that really bothers me. It's like these, I just showed Shelty, but this is not uncommon for Skady to be building like a mining camp like this. Like, this is, I don't know why you wouldn't do the more conventional here, and I'm not sure. So Skady aging up, and actually not a terrible time at all. But man, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Barracks units just don't do very good against Migdol units. It's just they just get outmaneuvered so easily. And Skady trying to wall, probably should have considered walling this like a lot sooner. Now this is kind of a natural wall all the way to here. This is not passable. But actually this will be like a phenomenal place for like Shelty really to kind of like go out to age 4 and then just like wall this, and then he can just catapult over. So that sucks for our friend Skady. Economically, does have some decent upgrades, a lot of farm upgrades. Shelty has pretty similar. We'll be having to transition to hunt soon, or not to hunt, to farmland soon. I'd like to see Skady maybe getting a couple more of his eco upgrades though. Okay, so Skady's up. We'll probably end up building his Migdol up here. And so theoretically, you got the slingers is supposed to counter the chariots. They actually don't because of the severe range. Though these chariots should be falling back, but losing the Sphinx. But yeah, the range difference is what really hurts. Is like the chariots can be shooting from way back here, and then once the slingers move into range, the chariots just run away. And that kind of sucks for your slingers. And it's kind of the downfall, really, of like Egyptian battles, is just how, like, compared to Migdol units, how poor barracks units do for the most part. With these chariots running in, though, like once they run into like within range, slingers do okay. Pierce armor upgrade is always important as Egyptian to get. But yeah, I mean, just these there you go, run. And chariots can also dodge arrow fire as well, which is also pretty big. We are at 3 town centers now for Shelty. Skady needs to get a siege workshop. There he is. Because he could potentially, though, Shelty will probably get funeral rites soon for his priests. Oh, what relic is down here? Improves cavalry speed. That's pretty good. But that doesn't apply to chariots. And then the other relic, not too good. And then this one up here, not that great. Yeah, Skady is really going to be hurting if he doesn't get his siege workshop up, because they just tank so much damage. And shifting sands gets a ton of the barracks units, and then follows that up with Ancestors Eclipse used. This will be a good fight for Skady, I feel like. At least you'll get a lot of value out of his minions, because there's only one hero. Just these slingers need to get on the chariots, maybe. Yeah, it didn't turn out so great for Skady, actually. The slingers kind of wasted a lot of time shooting at minions, but half and half, I guess. It went okay. In fact, Skady's actually pushing Shelty back. And did finally kill the priest. We got mercenaries for both players. Wow, Shelty's really keeping the aggression up for quite some time on this attack. These mercs, though. Any Pierce armor upgrade? No. So I guess after it's all said and done, it ended up kind of a little bit of a wash. Probably more so in Skady's favor after all of that. We had two god powers used by both players. Mercenaries are taking a ton of damage. Who's doing better economically? Good question. Shelty has just the first line of everything, and Skady has the same, just he's also got Sacred Cats. Skady is getting a trade route, but he's trading it the wrong way. I don't know what this market is doing, trading up this way. He should be building his market here and trading with that. It looks like they're actually pretty even. Like, almost dead even. Oh, here comes a little raid for Shelty, though, and Skady is out of position a little bit. Really, again, walls are huge, and if he could wall this off, that would be great. He does have a wall here. Like, I don't know why he would build wall here, and not just build this one first. Seems a little unusual to me. Yeah, I don't know why he... I mean, there were like 3 snakes here, but he killed them all. So I don't know why he is doing this. Like, this is the backwards trade route. Like, this is much shorter than from the top to the bottom. And it's kind of just like a self-inflicted mistake, really. And Shelty, meanwhile, is just contentedly gathering from his infinite resources behind his base. One thing about Erebus is there isn't a ton of wood on the map. Oh, there's a hole in this forest anyway. Oh, I can't check. How's the ecos? Skady has decent resources in the bank. Shelty is full pop. And oh, here comes a little bit of a raid here. Okay, we'll at least make a few bills go idle. It'd be nice if Skady had a siege workshop. There it is. Just to put a little bit of pressure here. This game is actually very close right now. Like, this could go either way. And in games like this that tend to go longer, having, like, mismanaging a trade route can be really terrible. And it looks like he's, again, I don't know what the point is of the market that's not at the edge of the map. Okay, just kind of mindlessly shooting each other. The siege workshop killing that. This is not a good fight for Shelty. I'm not quite sure why he's taking this. He's actually losing quite a bit. Not aging. Nope. I'd really like Skady to make some siege and attack. I don't know why he's not made a single siege workshop yet. And his trade route, yeah, he's like sticking to this very inefficient trade route. And stuff like that could cost him. But yeah, the aggressor in the Egyptian v Egyptian battle, whoever has the siege towers is in the advantage, just because of how much damage they tank, and the fact that every time these units kill what their target is, they end up going back to the siege camp, or not the siege camp, the siege tower. So I'm not sure why. I guess right now Skady doesn't have resources for it. Still does not have like his second wood upgrade. I think he's trying to get mythic. But he should instead maybe be putting his eco into getting some more economy. And we'll be losing his only siege camp too. Shelty instead is kind of focusing more on heroic age, and he has upgraded chariots, and he has the Pierceheimer upgrade as well. And he also has a little bit better of a trade route, though still this could be even a little bit more efficiently placed here. But Skady's trade route is kind of just mind-bogglingly backward. That's a tongue twister. And that's important because Skady is the first one to get his trade going, but it's just so inefficient. What is with his lumber camps? Like, why here? Like, does he think he can cut these? Skady's still ahead, though, at this point. But he needs workshops because he is aging up through Osiris. But he needs siege workshops so he can get catapults out, because he could catapult this Migdal from here. He could also just wall here, and then he can be in range of that catapult, or he could be in range of that town center with catapults as well. But he doesn't even have a single siege workshop, and kind of the reason as Egyptian you want to rush to Mythic Age is to get your siege. But can't make siege if you don't have a siege camp. There, now he's trying to build it. Oh, he got some damage in on his Son of Osiris too. And Son of Osiris doesn't really do very well against Egyptians in Egyptian when you're talking Egyptian mirrors. And Shelty is up Horus. Oh, does he have building upgrades? He does not. Oh. Son of Osiris getting very forward too. He's gonna get stuck unless he moves the chariots as well. There you go. Here comes some mummy. Skady is taking a really good trade here, though. Like, the slingers actually in this situation, without anything else to shoot at, are doing quite a bit of work. But okay, here's a little wall, but that wall is too far back. He needs to put it over here more, and then he could get at that town center. Okay, here comes the first siege camp. A little bit slow, but here it is. He should get his. He needs to get his building HP upgrades too. But I guess he does have monuments, and they protect anyway. Skady is kind of running out of gold. He's got just such a massive trade route, but only bringing in 41 gold a trip. Shelty's are 54, and even his isn't super great, but that's just too bad. Because stuff like that. Oh, watch your Osiris. Should really get that tower first. But actually, if he puts a gate here, he can just use his Villies to smash down the tower, because Villies get a huge attack bonus versus towers. That mummy's doing work, though. The instant kill on the elephant, you can't scoff at that. And Skady is getting further and further ahead here. But Shelty is up. Does have a little bit more upgrades, just slightly. Yeah, like, she's gonna have like a catapult here, like just happily smashing down that Migdal. Alright, now he's kind of getting both. Okay, there we go. Now you'll get both buildings down. Eventually, there it goes. And now get that one down as well. Economically, Shelty isn't doing too great. Skady is much better economically right now, but this trade route is just so inefficient. He's really going to be hurting himself. This barracks also is pretty bad because look how far it's forcing his mercenaries to run before they can get into the fight. Man, if Skady could just put some siege camps here, upgrade his walls. He could just get at that town center so easily. So, at this point, though, with how close the game is and it's going now past the 20 minutes, you know, your excuse for if Skady wanted to blame the map for a loss, I mean, at this point really can't use it because by now there'd be so many different reasons that a loss would be a result of. You always want to get your upgrade for your siege as well. It's so strong, especially for Egyptian. It gives them more range. But what I really want to see from Skady is this forward wall here. Upgrade his walls, and then he can just get catapults on this town center. And he would be in such a good spot. Like, he is pretty far ahead of Shelty at this point. But as actually the longer the game goes, the less advantage Skady will be in because of his terribly inefficient trade route. Only having one siege camp too really hurts. I mean, just look at how many. He's got about 40 pop in his trade route, and he's still auto-queuing from 2 markets. Meanwhile, he doesn't even have his second wood upgrade. Shelty, on the other hand, economically, well, his upgrades aren't really that much better either. Doesn't have his camel upgrade. Skady does, so that does actually help. Skady is probably kind of running out of wood a little bit right now. Oh, Osiris dies. Didn't get a ton of value out of Osiris, actually. And what we can see is that Skady is at full pop, but like he doesn't have much of an army. Also should kind of at this point stop with the barracks units. I mean, medium slingers and medium spears are essentially just wasting population space. And only having one siege camp is a big mistake as well. He's also not fortifying this bottom, which would potentially allow Shelty just to take control of that. Just have one barracks or armory upgrade for his tower. Still auto-queuing medium useless spearmen. When at this point, really what he should be doing is, well, deleting the barracks so the mercs can get there quicker. But just kind of tons of mercs and chariot archers with catapults. So Erebus doesn't necessarily have a ton of wood. And where is he going to get his wood? Skady has some wood choppers there. More coming down there. No camel upgrade. Shelty does also have tornado still. And this push, okay, now we have upgraded. No, they can't cross this. This is impassable terrain. So like this barracks here is really screwing Skady's mercenaries. They have to run all the way up here to get past that. Yeah, the black is impassable terrain. Yeah, right here. Nope, can't get across. The black can't walk on. Is Skady still auto-queuing? He is too. Like he's got so many caravans with his like backwards trade route. Like if he were up here, his camels would probably be getting in like 80 or 90 gold. As of now, they're only getting 41. Like he is like costing himself half of his value in trade route. And he's like full pop with almost no army because of that trade route. Is getting some armory upgrades. Really would like to see that. He's got a lot of wood up here though. Really would like to see that upgraded siege tech, though. Like, Skady's has the advantage, but he's just not doing anything with it. Alright, so Shelty finally got his trade upgrade. He's also slightly got an inefficient trade route as well, but economically speaking, did get the second wood upgrade. Shelty as well, so they're about even economically at this point. So right now, despite kind of the score differential, it's basically even. They're the same economically. No one is really at the advantage militarily. Skady's not really attacking. They're just kind of fighting over this kind of no man's land right here. Whereas, like, theoretically, and this might be the difference, is if Shelty is the first one to come forward and do like a side attack. And oh, we finally have a second siege works, but Skady could have just done this so long ago, is just put a wall from here to down here, upgraded his walls, and then put catapults behind it, and Shelty would be forced to use like tornado in defense just to clear that up. Instead, Skady with his advantage is just kind of doing nothing, which is too bad. He's getting his barracks upgrades though. Shelty is also getting his upgrades as well. Shelty has the better. Okay. And Shelty has realigned his market to get a much better trade route. So now we'll compare, now that they'll be walking the full length, we'll compare the difference in trade routes. And it's going to be massive. Okay, do we have the full trade route yet? There are many maps with choke points like this. Not really. Most of them are pretty more open. There's a reason this isn't like a standard map. Is it 53? Is that it? I thought it'd be more than that. Maybe they haven't done their full trade route yet. But we'll check in a little bit. Oh, see, he has so much gold right now, too. Oh, did he? No, most of them are still going the wrong way. Okay, a little bit of a side push here. Unupgraded siege, like, always pester. Okay, a little bit of a side build up there, but nothing too crazy. So Skady's, Shelty's, Camel's 92. There is the this is going to be the difference in this game. Is that Shelty is getting 92 gold a trade route, and Skady only 41. So Shelty's trade, I mean, they are walking a little bit longer, but you could say that it's probably about like 33% more efficient, Shelty's trade route. And that is big because of the population. I mean, Skady's fighting at full pop, but he's got like... Well, you did. You missed the Jotunheim game earlier in this series, Sigma. We've had a few Jotunheim picks. And what do we have down here? So yeah, just a fight down here. And now we have Tornado clearing this up. Okay, gets a few towers. Migdol's getting down. Barracks down. Siege camp down. And now it's not doing damage because it's reached its max damage. Skady is transitioning over to elephants. Probably in this situation too. Thoth is maybe a better choice. Oh, did sneak a Vild back here, but did get caught. But what's up, Cackle Cackle? Okay, does have a lot of upgrades, but you don't get a ton of value out of Osiris in Egyptian mirror matches. And Thoth upgraded elephants are really strong. Does he have crenellations? No crenellations yet. Yeah, Tornado finally cleared the way for the merge, right? Now they can just run straight through. But that was all of the towers, and all Shelty has to do is get this area secured and upgrade his catapults, and his catapults can be on this town center from about right here. And he's starting to get all of his towers. I imagine we'll see crenellations soon. But if Shelty could get his upgrade to his siege... Don't see it yet. Because yeah, this is very, very inefficient for Skady to walk around. I mean, you can't get past this. So as Shelty secures this, and he does have his upgrade to his towers as well. He just needs crenellation for the elephants and mercs, and then upgraded siege, and Shelty will be able to get at this town center over here. Yeah, it just keeps making towers. This is more of the classic Egyptian. You just slowly tower push. I'm surprised he's not trying to put up a few walls. But once this area gets secured with all these towers, Skady's going to have a hard time getting at the catapult. And once the town center goes down, Skady's going to have a hard time getting it back up. And this is what Skady could have been doing on this town center a long time ago by just walling this, securing this, getting the wall upgrades, 3 catapults, town center down. And we now see that Shelty has taken the score lead. It's kind of the tornado clearing things up. But Skady just, yeah, it's bad trade route is kind of actually what's costing him, really. I mean, let's just pause it right now and take a look. Estimate is, so we've got 30, 54, 75, 70. Am I counting that right? Am I really counting like 90 trade routes or caravans? So 28, 29, 30, 31, 40 essentially, 63, almost 80. Almost 80 caravans. That's half of his population, essentially. Right there. And he still really doesn't even have enough gold to do what he wants. He's got 80 caravans and really doesn't have an excess of gold, really. Kind of as they're coming in now, I guess, maybe, but 300 caravan. Well, if it continues, I mean, he's still auto-queuing from one of his markets anyway. But yeah, this is now Shelty's game to easily win. He just needs to get his upgraded siege. Kind of surprised both units are hanging on to getting that upgraded siege tech for so long. It's one of the best upgrades in the game. I mean, it would allow his catapults to shoot from like right here onto that town center. And Skady's a good Egyptian player. And to be making just kind of such a huge unforced error like this, really surprising to see that. Because he's a good player, but just the trade route the wrong way, resulting in almost 90 trade caravans. Yeah, that's... And now you get all these towers being spawned, and like Skady just can't get there. Have this random siege camp up there. You should empower. Oh, okay. So targeting the Pharaoh so the Pharaoh can't empower, because empowerment makes the town center repair so much faster. 35 minutes in the game and not the upgraded siege. But yeah, I mean, Skady just can't get at these catapults. Oh no, there's Pharaoh empowering again. Shelty at full pop, Skady full pop, doesn't really have much gold. Just can't get at these catapults. Still, it's kind of insane, the bonus that the Pharaoh gives, and that it's keeping up with the catapults. But here come a few chariots to target the Pharaoh again. Pharaoh still lives, so he will be back if he can get past the waves of caravans here. There we go. Crenellations, yep. So elephants are pretty much rendered useless. Crenellations also really kill the mercenary cavalry as well. We can see that Skady can only kill the chariots with, or the catapults with his own chariots. And the problem is that Skady just has no army. What was he raging about? I would wonder. I mean, I'm just raging about this. This caravan trade route is killing Skady. He has like a 10-man army. Oh, see, I don't mind. There's a little bit of a regality, in kind of like a battle like this, but where, you know, it's kind of each player exerting their full willpower just on one location. But you're right, as far as like gameplay, this is actually, well, Shelty can't kill the town center because he doesn't have upgraded siege. There's no excuse for 36 minutes into the game not to have siege engineers. Siege engineers would have killed this town center a long time ago. I mean, but really, even if he's not killing the town center, he is requiring 29 population to kill. In for Skady, is using 29 pop to keep this town center up, which that's huge. 29 pop just to repair this thing, and then with 90 pop in his trade route, he's got basically 120 of his population is like used in A, repairing, and B, trading. Yeah, where should he have put the markets? Yes, up here. You get, it's proportional the amount of gold they bring in. The farther the trade route is, they proportionally bring more gold in, to the point where he's getting 41 gold and Shelty is getting 92 gold. So that's the difference. I mean, Skady, well, he finally has upgraded siege too. Can I look at gold total? I mean, Skady's way ahead, which is kind of expected. Yeah, like AoE 2. It is weird that you can, I mean, that is kind of the huge difference between AoE 2 and AOM, is that you can, yeah, exponential, that's what I mean. Maybe that's not what I was saying, but it's the trade route, the farther they go, it's exponentially more beneficial. These catapults. Like, why is Shelty not getting... I mean... Again, I've said this before. Do I know the formula? No, it's kind of a mystery, actually. Like, it's hard-coded, and nobody has the formula. As far as I know, nobody actually has ever posted the actual correct formula. So he does have the market on the edge, but it's from here to this town center. So we're talking really half the map width, where it could be from here to this town center, which is the full map width. There are the upgraded siege. Finally. Finally, the upgraded siege. Good formula. I mean, the upgrade plus 12 attack, so that is a 20%. I think it's 20%. I don't know. What's math? Math is not my friend. Yeah, that's over 20% actually, isn't it? Because 0.2 would be 10, right? And it also gives more range, so that's a huge bonus. And not just like that. There goes the town center. Hello, Hero. You're just in time for our going to be game number 7. And I've spent the last about 10 minutes just kind of being very frustrated with Skady's play, because even though this map was in Shelty's advantage to begin with, Skady should have won, but his own self-error in a terrible trade route cost him the game, because he never had an army to push when he had the advantage. He also never pushed down here when all he needed to do to kill this town center, 2 things. 3. Build wall. Upgrade wall, build siege camp, town center down. Or at least, yeah, he doesn't even have trade now, which is, this is almost like beneficial for him really if he can like trade with that one and rebuild the market, but he's not going to get this town center up ever. We'll never get this town center up at this point. Shelty coming forward to grab that town center. Doesn't even have full military. He doesn't have the last 2 armory upgrades either. But I don't want to be like I'm just bashing Skady. I mean, let's be real. There's a reason. I wonder. There's a reason he's in the semifinals and I didn't make it past the first round. It's very easy to be a good player when you're watching other players play. In fact, that's when I'm at my best. Is when I'm just watching other people. And he's getting a Titan. You know, if he would have done that a long time ago, you know, Skady probably would have won. Because, well, I think maybe Skady's unwillingness to resign is the fact that he knows he probably should have won this game. And like for me, those are always the hardest games for me to resign to. Like there's no problem if I get thoroughly smacked and beat and I resign. But this game is a game that Skady should definitely, with how the game went, he should have won. But he didn't. So well played by Shelty to do what he needed to do to survive. But just a frustrating game to watch when you consider what could have and should have happened. I mean, map started out with Skady having a pretty severe map disadvantage. He worked through that and got in a good position, but then just completely screwed himself with his absolutely awful trade route, to the point where he had about 80 caravan at one point. And for those of you watching right now and later on the YouTubes or even the Twitchers later on, you can't really expect to win with 80 caravans. I do like the Wonder Titan though. It's cute. And this is only game 6, guys. We've got one more. The final. The all-determining game number 7. But when we look at the gods, we're going to see Shelty with Loki. And that is it. Finally, in G, I just want to look at the civ count. And Skady, 139 pop civilian, all the way up to 152. Now tell me, how in the world are you supposed to win when you have 152 of your population into civilian? That's 152 of 169 civilian units. Or even here, this is when like Skady should be pushing 120 vills, 140 almost. That's just terrible. Awful right there. Can't expect to win like that. I mean, he's way ahead in score at the same time when he has this massive amount, and because he has so many villagers, he could never make an army to actually push. And that's what cost it. So when I first saw this market coming up in this trade route, I think I said I'd hate for that to be the reason he lost. And yeah, it basically was. But that's okay. It gives us a game number 7. So let us update our score here. And so Shelty ties it up. And we will get our gods in. So what was that? Isis versus Set, And we had Shelty as Set and Skady as Isis. And game 7, and I am looking at these gods here and what have been used and what haven't been used, and I am seeing a very obvious Loki v Ra coming up for game number 7. Now game 7 will be a random map, which is a little bit of luck based because there are some maps that Ra does pretty well on. But overall, I feel like Loki is better than Ra in 1v1 on most maps. Now there's some that are bad. No, I don't think Skady will do Poseidon. I'm predicting Loki v Ra, and Shelty's Loki is good and he knows how to beat Ra. He can't do Zeus because he picked Zeus already. Skady picked Zeus. So Ra v Loki is what I am seeing, because Skady picked all 3 Atlanteans. He got his Zeus. What do you mean? Game 5 was 5? What are you talking about? That was game 6. Oh, you're reading it wrong. No, I don't think that Pharaoh abuse is as good as what. Not against Loki, because the Herseer come up too quick. Low hunt is about the only chance. You can. You're right. You can do that, but I feel like Loki, giving the way most Ra players traditionally play, which is like the 1 town center or 2 town center, kind of fast heroic. Shelty's pretty good at that, and I've always kind of felt like, just from me playing, that Loki is pretty decent, albeit I never really did the early Pharaoh aggression, but we'll see. It might not even be that. So let us update the score, I guess, so we are all right here. So 3-3. This is random. The last game is random, so that's why it is a little bit luck here, because you could get a really, like, if it's Oasis, assuming Ravi Loki, Loki's kind of screwed. So game number 7, Ravi Loki. Ghost Lake. All right. So Ghost Lake. So you got Shelty on our right. He is the Loki. And we have Skady on the left. He is the Ra. Now, okay. So those 2 Aurochs are just out of line of sight. And it looks like Shelty might end up coming up here. Oasis is Weasel's favorite Loki map. Well, I guess if you can do it. But, okay, so Shelty's going to go up to this hunt. A little bit unfortunate that he didn't get his starting Aurochs in his line of sight. Skady, meanwhile, is hunting and probably, yeah, did get hunting dogs. And going forward, trying to get, oh, what's this relic? More attack for Axeman. Yeah, Ra does, outside of Osiris and mummies, if the Loki can get to Mythic before the Ra can, it's pretty rough. Skady always played Eggy, though. It's nothing new. But when I'm... Okay, so the map itself. When we're talking about the map, and is it beneficial to which player? So this is a Ghost Lake version with 2 gold mines in the base. That is very, very good for the Ra. It is the Ghost Lake, though, with also 2 hunt packs. Theoretically, this second hunt pack doesn't need to exist. It could not exist at all. But it's not a ton of hunt. We've got 6 caribou, but 12 caribou plus 2 auroch. It's not a ton of hunt, actually. I would give this map to the Ra. Given the way this map is, you got your 2 gold mines. It's kind of a it's not high hunt. It's moderate. I'd say this is, the map spawn is in Skady's favor. Not like horribly into his favor, play as I say, not as I do. That is at this point in my AOT career, that is definitely my mantra, because I can't play anymore. Very early temple, though. So what should the Rod do in this situation? The Rod could do a variety of different things. The 2-town center fast heroic isn't terrible. I would probably prefer that in this situation, given that he has a safe second gold mine, another 3,000 in his base. And this town center is pretty close. It's also pretty close to getting another town center, or another gold mine. So I would think the 2-town center would be the best thing to do. But 1-town center is a little more safe. Shelty could potentially really punish the 2-town center if he plays it like really, really well, but that'd be pretty hard. I would 2-town center, Ptah, fast heroic, if I were the Ra in this situation. And then just play really defensive, not go out of the base until it comes time to get this gold mine. You might hurt a little bit if you get the flaming weapons, but I feel like with 6,000 gold to work with, you should be able to withstand the flaming weapons, survive, and then still take your gold mine by the time you're getting fully popped out. Looks like Skady is doing some pretty aggressive play. So he is doing what kind of Sigma was mentioning would be advancing quickly and going forward with the Pharaoh. I don't know why he's going forward with the relic, though. I mean, at least drop it off in your base. So if you can get a lot of damage in on the hunt, that's actually pretty solid. But Skady with Ra's terrible scouting actually has really nothing scouted at all of the Loki, and does find this forward pack, but they're not there. The Vills aren't there. But oh, will they meet each other? It looks like yes. So okay, so he gets line of sight. We'll get some early pressure on. Gotta watch out that he doesn't lose his Pharaoh. So it's pushing off. So he's actually getting a lot of value out of this. This is high value right here. Skady getting a lot of value, and he's only up 70%. So he's got to send his Vills all the way back. So at this point, the Pharaoh might as well just go back home. He's done what he needed to do, which is push these Vills off that forward hunt. However, Shelty could, if he wanted, just go to that Auroch there. Okay, does target the... Just getting a little... Now you can run. Yeah. Done what he needed to do. So... Oh. I guess he could do a shift. Oh, he's shifting everything. Okay. Okay, so this shift... Yeah, the harass was viable. It would not have been, though, if he would have gone the wrong way. But, like, if he checks down here on this side first, probably not getting too much. But, I don't know, he didn't get a ton. I mean, Cersei, you're killing that. Yeah, no, you were right. I don't think it was really sketchy. I think he was probably not sure. I think he wanted to go forward and see if there was where the gold mine was. I wouldn't say that was really very sketchy. In fact, earlier when I was talking about sketchy moments, I kind of talked about one that was very kind of, all intents and purposes, it was pretty sketchy from Shelty. But sometimes, I mean, it happens. You'll see things that are kind of goofy from time to time. And that's just the way it is. And I'm just kind of pointlessly blocking that Herseer. And now Skady should probably just do a 2-town center. How much resources does he have? What about technology? So he's getting Shadoof. What? Kind of slow. Should have gotten it sooner. But he's still got all these goats and crap that he can go back on. And what is Shelty going to do? Yeah, he did get value out of that harass. That is the one bad thing, though, when we talk about scouting, is that theoretically, if Skady would have gone to this side, he would not have gotten any value out of the hunt. And that's kind of the thing that I always was... Why I never really did it. Which maybe I should have. but I never did. But there's a little bit of luck to it where if you go the wrong side, you can just completely waste it. But okay. Getting nice harass with the Wadjet too. Now, Skady should be just doing a 2-town center fast heroic at this point. He's caused enough damage. Probably want to wall this off too and just maybe go for like a 9:30, 9-minute advance. Probably 9:30 at this point would be pretty reasonable. Would like to see. He doesn't have husbandry. I don't know what he's doing with his wood. But he needs to have plow and husbandry before he uses rain. Because if he doesn't do that, he really costs a ton of resources to himself. He's getting plow. How much wood does he have? 61. Oh, he might... See, I don't know why he never walled this either. Like, as Ra, your goal is to be as safe and defensive as possible, and if that means just spending 100 gold on a wall, that's super valuable. Okay. A little bit, oh, might be able to pick off, okay, alright. Is he getting husbandry yet? What is he? Where is his wood at? Pickaxe. He didn't even have pickaxe yet either. Okay, nice little wall, nice little blockage there. It's getting a little bit extra damage in on these units. Okay. Oh man, see, I hate to see the rain before husbandry. And in fact, he has so few vills. I don't know why he used it. This is a very poor usage of his rain. Terrible. Because he's not going to get enough food to advance off of this. Because he doesn't have husbandry. Husbandry is just as important for rain as plow is. So without husbandry, I mean, typically you kind of cost yourself about 200 to 300 food through with your rain. And Shelty is probably, yep, okay, so he's advancing kind of a semi-quick heroic. We'll probably just try to push through and kill the town center. Which isn't the end of the world for Skady if he does. Well, actually, the fact that he put so much farms on this does additionally hurt him. And how is Skady's eco? Is he advancing? No, see, he's not even... Now he's getting husbandry. Like, Skady isn't even close to aging up. Like, his transition off of the initial harass is not good. And building this granary. Now, in Vubli, the rain did get a nerf. And it actually, by the numbers, doesn't seem huge, but it actually was a bit of a significant nerf for the rain. And when you combine that with the lack of husbandry, we can see where he is, even with the rain, isn't even close to aging up. And that's a big problem because he has no army. He can't age up. We probably have flaming weapons coming now. Yeah, and Skady is just so far behind. I mean, he never even finished that wall. That he's not going to be able to hold this. And if he loses the town center at the expense of a ton of military units for Shelty, that's pretty big, but he also is losing all of his farms. And, ooh, is taking a fight here. Losing a ton of villies. Just kind of ignoring, yeah, and see, this is the right thing, just to ignore the town center basically and get in on all the units. And Shelty is just wiping this out here. Flaming weapons is getting so much work. And Skady will be stuck in classical age for a very long time. And losing his army and his town center. And his villies. We got this Frost Giant showing up here. And he will take a ton of damage. And I don't think Skady will be able to recover from this. Started out great for Skady, but his like transition off of it. And that is GG. Just like that. The power of the flaming weapons push against an incredibly slow Ra. Oh my. So wow. So Shelty at one point was down 3-1. And wins the last 3 games to advance to the finals. And if I were Skady, I would kind of be sick. Because the Erebus game, he should have won. This game, maybe not should have won, but like it was kind of incompetent play. But Shelty's a good Loki. But this is a map that was beneficial for Skady. Yeah, he blew a 3-1 lead, and actually the first game that he lost, which was the very initial game, Skady really kind of blew that game too, where he should have won that game. And what that meant was Skady should have actually, if he would have played, I mean, you can say should have, I guess, for all sorts of games, but the other 3 games really weren't that close for Shelty, where Skady kind of easily won the games he won. But that very first game on Vinlandsaga, Skady should have won that, and he really kind of misplayed the mid game. And it really should have been a Skady like 4-0 sweep when you look at it, and instead he loses 4-3. So, but having said all of that, Skady is in the semifinals, and that's nothing to scoff at. He is a really good player. So well played by Skady to get this far, and also well played by old Mr. Shelty to get to the finals. So he was in the semifinals, the last tournament, in the finals, the tournament before, and now in the finals again. So solidifying himself as one of the current best players. So well played. Shelty has a good Loki, and he seems like he's always really good against a Ra. And yeah, I mean, just look at this eco. Just, I understand it's a little bit down, but something happened here. And the problem is, too, when you advance at 408, that is a pretty significant. I mean, you're advancing earlier, which means you're advancing like 3 vils fewer. So that is bad for your economy. So even though he gets some harass, it's kind of like evened out just by the fact that he's losing out on 25% empowerment from his pharaoh. He's also losing out on fewer villies gathering because he's advancing so early. So, but the main thing was just his very poor transition from hunt/sheep to farms, to the point where he was not ever going to reach heroic. Have the other semifinals been played? I believe they have. So tomorrow night, hopefully, as I anticipate, I will stream the other semifinals, which we can take a look at the bracket. We can update our very last game here, which was Ravi Loki, as I anticipated. But not really a hard anticipation knowing the players. So Ra for Skady, Loki for Set, and get this last win in. So Shelty wins the first one, loses the next 3, and then wins the last 3. So overall, a great series to watch with 7 great games. I really like the tournament rules for that no repeat gods. That's awesome. It makes every game so different as opposed to seeing like in the spring tournament where it's Zeus, Set, Zeus, Set, Zeus, Set, Zeus, Set, Zeus, Set. Again, 7 times. And here we get every player playing 7 different gods. That's awesome. I love it. Great. So let us take a look at the bracket. If you put exclamation point bracket in the chat, which I will do for you, you can see it. And we are all the way to the finals. And I will update our game here. Is the final best of 9? I am not sure. I think it's 7. Well, if it were best of 9, that would really start like, if it goes to like 8, 9 games, you'd really be scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as like god choices. So Shelty 3, Skady, or Shelty 4, Skady 3. Wow. And so tomorrow will be Joe versus Hero. Now, in my mind, I'd say Joe has a pretty significant advantage here because, I don't know, outside of like a little bit of Norse and maybe Ra, I don't think Hero really has much else going for him. And when it's a best of 9, you'd have to win a total of 4 games. So he'd basically have to win every game with one of his main gods, and then even then have to win a game with like an off main. So I would predict Joe would win versus Hero. But we'll see what happens. But Shelty is in the finals, and tomorrow night, hopefully, we will stream Joe versus Hero and find out who will face Shelty in the finals. So we are winding down towards the very end of the tournament. So who made the bracket? The bracket, I think, was seeded with Joe first seed, Shelty second, and the rest was random. Pegasus was a 32 seed. Well, no, it actually wasn't random. Here's the reason. Pegasus, originally it was some like random scrub against Joe, but the scrub dropped out, and then Pegasus signed up and said he wanted to play. So Pegasus replaced the scrub. So that's why that happened in round 1. Because yeah, that's a good matchup, but Joe won. And Joe's actually beaten the 3 players that he outside. I'd say Grandmaster is maybe a little bit iffy when it comes to like AOT in this setting. But Naiad Racing Cat's a pretty solid player as well. But well, if you don't want to get here's my opinion on that. If you don't want to have to play against Joe in the first round, how about you sign up on time? I mean, it's not like it was some sort of surprise. But will Joe win again? Maybe. Well, it might be Hero. That would be a big surprise, though. Like, I'd give Joe like probably like an 80% chance of winning. Hero 20. But if it's Joe versus Shelty in the final, that's 50-50. Probably 50-50. Well, whatever. What does it really matter? I mean, I don't know. When you consider it, is there really much of a difference of Joe playing Pegasus in the first round and Joe playing Pegasus in the third round? I mean, you get in the same games. Shelty always loses against Joe. That is true, though. Except for... No, it is. Yeah, you're right. So we'll see, though. Assuming it's even Joe, it could be Hero. But I think probably there'd be very few people that would think Hero would win. But maybe he will. But non-tourney mostly wins. Well, all that matters is tournament. That's why I don't give much credence to just random Voobly games, because the tournament is what matters. That's when people try their hardest. That's when people work for it. I mean, you just playing random games on Voobly, who really cares? Doesn't matter. No. Who cares? That's also why, I mean, this is a bit of a side note. This is also why I don't really consider Chemo or Green Sea to be like top 1v1 players, because they never play tournaments. Anybody can win a bunch of 1v1s on Voobly, carefully picking opponents and maps and time to play. But the tournament is where the going gets tough and the tough get going. And the people who aren't tough don't play in tournaments because they can't take the pressure. Says I. I can't take the pressure either. That's why I lose in the first round, but at least I'm okay with that. I know I suck. No big deal. But anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. This is a good 7-game series. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. So come back tomorrow night about, what time is it now? Oh, about 3.5 hours before this tomorrow night, and we will be streaming the other semifinals, and then we will have to wait until the finals get played. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings when I was criticizing players. Again, I don't really mean it. Easy to see the mistakes in recorded games. These guys are much better than me. So that's why they're in the semifinals. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You guys are great. Always good to have people in the chat rooting on the stream. And we will hopefully catch you guys tomorrow night. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. And that is it. That is all. Don't forget, I do have a YouTube channel. Don't be afraid to take a look. Bye. Have a good night.